Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 1 of Animal Control, and this is a new Fox sitcom, and this is, the next series that Joel McHale is leading, who, famous for Community, and this is from creators of, who worked on How I Met Your Mother, and the remake of Overboard, Wedding Crashers, those kinds of films and series. One of the directors on the show is Jay Chandrasekhar, who's from Broken Lizard. And Joel McHale plays Frank, who's one of the main characters here. And him and Michael Rowland are partners at this animal control center. They have a new boss played by Vella Lavelle. And you have some of the other people there, Ravi Patel, Grace Palmer, and they're all doing their thing in this workplace comedy. It's an interesting thing because it's trying to balance, doing animal control stuff, which, that's not funny. There's, animals are gonna die and stuff like that. It's a strange thing to try to balance. It's one thing to make something about, a community college, or, an office where you sell paper. But, this is, trying to make a lot of jokes around, hey, they might have to, put animals down. They might have to do stuff like this. People get really attached to animals. And, that aspect of it definitely feels like an afterthought, too. It's kind of just, this little awkward. You have Joel McHale, who has, his, white whale of, a animal that's kind of popping up throughout this first season. A lot of the workplace relationships, Joel McHale's being Joel McHale, and he's not quite as interesting or likable as Jeff Winger, or you love to hate him as much as Jeff at the beginning of Community. It's one of those kinds of things where it's it's Joel McHale. So he has that presence. He delivers that. I think Roland is solid. I think they have some good chemistry. And then, the series gets really, really caught up in this big love triangle between Michael Rowland's character, Vella Lavelle's character, and, the former boss who stepped down but keeps popping up, played by Kevin Bigley. And it's just, this show becomes such a big focus on, this love triangle. And it's, I don't know how much I buy into it. And then you have this really interesting dynamic between Joel McHale's character and Grace Palmer, who they're pranking back and forth with each other, and there's definitely some sexual tension there as well. And then, Patel has this all these family, he's the married one, he's the family guy, and he has all those kinds of jokes that come in. It's not the most clever, it's not the sharpest humor. It's alright for this first season. I don't think it was a complete train wreck to be oh, I can't watch this anymore. But it's one of those kinds of the first season is a little rocky. Also, I don't know how much I'm ever going to buy into they're doing a pretty serious job that could be very sad at times, and it's I don't know if this show can really balance those kinds of things, and it kind of goes willy-nilly with it. But in the end, I think this is, your run-of-the-mill first season of a new sitcom. It has a big name at the center of it. It's trying to lay some groundwork for the relationships and dynamics and stuff like that. It's only 12 episodes this first season, and, it's one of those kinds of things where it's just it's alright. It has some moments, it has better episodes than others. It's a little bit inconsistent, but you'll have to see what they do moving forward and how they're going to progress some things. Because, the very end of this first season, they leave some of these dynamics in some very interesting places. And poor, especially for, Roland's character, Fred, who goes by Shred, he's in a tough spot. And he's the most, endearing of these characters, so it's kind of well, hopefully things will be better for him next season. But those are my thoughts on Season 1 of Animal Control. let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.